Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you like this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today, we are discussing what might be the most interesting member of the third generation Vacheron Constantin Overseas series. This is the Overseas World Time. When the new models bowed at SIHH in 2016, we saw the expected automatic and ultra-thin to match with the 15202 from AP and the 5711 from Patek. We saw the chronograph bow, and of course there's a dual time. But this watch, the World Time, is both the most distinct from its own overseas line and the most distinct from its competitors in that Patek and Audemars Piguet have no direct equivalent. This is a standalone high horology Sportster and still 150 meters water resistant. Let's talk about the size. It is a big watch. In fact, one could easily call this more of an Offshore rival than any conventional Royal Oak matchup. 43.5 millimeters in diameter and a robust 50.9 millimeters lug to lug. The watch is more wearable on the rubber strap and the leather strap. I would even say it's most wearable on the rubber strap. The good news, you get the rubber strap, you get the steel deployant clasp, you get the leather strap, and you get the full bracelet with every link sizable when you buy this watch in steel. So this watch comes with all three. The timepiece is reasonably thin, considering what's inside. 12.7 millimeters is only about half a millimeter thicker than a Daytona, and it is nicely sloped. It will fit underneath the dress cuff. It is a solid thing, but nicely executed in that it sort of drapes itself around the wrist. As heavy and imposing as it is, it doesn't look as blockish and some might even say brutal as a Royal Oak Offshore. You can see that the lugs are nicely integrated into the swell of the strap, or I might even say the diminishing taper, and you can see the beveling of the flank continues into the cut of the strap. Quite nice. There's a little bit of a pyramid imprint on top of the strap and on the underside, channels to remove material to make it more flexible, as well as to allow the wrist to vent on a hot day. What's the point of all those accessory straps if you can't easily swap between them? And the good news is Vacheron makes that very easy with a quick release system, so you can remove the strap using only your fingernails and you can easily install the other straps and the bracelet the same way. And I'll show you how easy you can pop things back on. Now there is a deployant clasp. It is a twin trigger deployant, all of steel, both polished and blasted interior. And you'll note the Maltese cross emblem inside, the Maltese cross motif outside, trigger actuated, so it's not friction fit. You get this clasp, you get two straps, and you get a bracelet. How good is this watch? Well, consider that you have a different strap for almost every application. Sports casual, hardcore sports, and even dress up with the gator. Now the case is perhaps not as complex as what you'll find with Patek Philippe and the Nautilus or Audemars Piguet with the Royal Oaks, but I would compare it quite favorably to something like an Aquanaut. Simplified, but still nicely hand-finished in detail, and we'll get close so you can see those details. There's a satin finish vertically inside the little notches of the Maltese cross bezel, and you can see polished outside. There's a plinth on which the bezel sits, and that's one of the key distinctions between the third generation watches and the first two generations. No crown guards necessary, and I don't miss them. The crown is easy to grip. The lug hoods are of satin and the flanks are of polish, and there's a handsome diminishing bevel between them. Now the dial, it is layered, and in the best possible sense. I don't mean layered as in an onion a la Shrek. I mean layered as in a rich dessert, and that's exactly what this timepiece is. At center, a satin and blasted set of engraved continents in metal. Outboard, the ring with 37 time zones is a lacquered cities ring, and then you have a shaded sapphire that bears the 24 hours as well as the day and night or AM PM indications, the dark and the light. Outboard, there's a final track that serves as a sort of Rehot or chapter ring, and that is itself black lacquered. The hands at center are loomed, and the watch features what might be the rarest feature in the high horology sports watch genre. Other than AP's 3120, it seems like none of the watches in this class have a hacking or stop seconds feature. Well, this watch has it, and the more modern 5200 and 5100 movements in the other overseas Gen 3s do not have stop seconds. So let's talk a little bit about how this works. There are two setting positions. Let's say I'm in New York. I'm going to set everything back so you can see right now where I am in New York. It's 8 o'clock. The index is at 6 o'clock. I align New York, my current reference time zone, East Coast, of the United States. I'm actually in Philadelphia, just short of New York. You can see it's 8 o'clock, and it is 8 in the morning. You can see that's matched at center by 8 a.m. So you know whether 8 here is 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. Now, if I were to put the watch in intermediate setting mode now, let me actually put it in the correct intermediate setting mode so I can, making things tough for me. Now I can set the time independently of the city. This is the outermost or stop seconds position, and you can see how the reference ring moves in sync with the hours. Now everything's coordinated. This is the outermost position. In the intermediate position, I have the ability to make changes to everything in sync. So there are 2 setting positions, and with the 37 time zones, you can set time zones that are 30 minutes offset, and all of those are demarcated in blue lacquer. So you have the ability to truly set the watch to all but the most esoteric 15-minute increments. Turning the timepiece over, you see the movement is interesting because it's not of the same generation that you'll see in the other Overseas Generation 3 models. This movement right here is actually part of the 2450 family that bowed in the mid-2000s, which is to say it does have that coveted stop seconds functionality that the newer calibers do not have. What it also has is the old-style Geneva seal. The newer movements feature a sort of etched Geneva hallmark, while this one is truly a stamp. Engraved compass rose winding mass in gold, 22 karat, ceramic rotor bearings, unidirectional winding action, very efficient, 40-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate. This one adjusted in 5 positions like a chronometer. It is a Vacheron in-house caliber. It is remarkably both water resistant to 150 meters by virtue of this case construction, and thanks to a paramagnetic ring around the caliber itself, it is also robustly anti-magnetic to 25,000 amperes per meter, far more than the ISO standard of 4,800 ampere per meter for an anti-magnetic watch. Finally, all of the traits of a hallmarked caliber are present. Mirrored beveling on the edge of every bridge, black polished screws, engine turning on the base plate, and perfectly aligned Côte de Genève across all bridges. Beautifully made inside and out, remarkably versatile, both of function and of strap, bracelet, and alternate strap. This is a watch for which AP and Patek have no direct answer. See it and make it yours on the watch box. Vacheron Overseas Generation 3 World Time reference 7700V. See it on the watch box.